Hi everyone, and welcome to this short video from Adatis, where we will be showcasing the fast-moving consumer goods or consumer packaged goods production monitoring report. Here is our first report, which is displaying the actuals versus targets for produced goods and also contains an element of quality control as well. Before we jump into the various visuals, it's worth showcasing some of the navigation features that are available in this Power BI report. So, in the left panel here, we have a slicer panel which we can easily expand at a click of a button. Here we can find the relevant slicers for this report, which we will be using as we progress through the video. Also, on the top right, you will notice we have a question mark icon available. When we go ahead and click this, we are presented with something we like to call guided navigation. Essentially, it familiarizes the report consumer with some of the capabilities that are enabled in this report. For instance, it highlights the slicer panel we just saw. It also highlights that drill-through capabilities are available in this report, and also it highlights that report level tooltips are available. So with that said, let's go ahead and start looking at the numbers. We're going to start at the top left chart, the bullet chart, year-to-date produced goods versus targets, which gives us a high-level overview of the year-to-date progress of produced goods against the targets for all regions, so for East, London, South and West. We can easily see that all these regions except London are performing well and meeting their targets, with South in the lead for exceeding its target considerably compared to other regions, and London slightly off. We then have a breakdown for the current month produced goods against targets. Here we are using the KPI visual to identify the actuals, which in this case are the produced goods against the target, as well as the variance percentage between the two. We can see how each region is performing, and again we can see London is off target by 15.85%. So the KPI visual again shows us the actual value, which for London is 64k, and the target value, which is 76k, and then in the brackets it shows us the variance percentage between the two. So we are minus 15.85%, meaning this is a negative result, hence the KPI visual is being displayed in red. Also notice in the background of all our KPI visuals, we see a trend line available. Now this shows the production over the total time periods available in this report, whilst the actual number of course only shows the current month or the latest month available in this dataset. Moving on the right hand side, we can see a monthly breakdown of the regions and what they have produced with the element of quality control, and that is in this stacked bar chart and line chart. So essentially the regions are targeted both on how much product they produce, and of those produced products how many have failed quality control. So they need to produce more than the target but also less than the quality control threshold to ensure the products they produce are of a high quality. Notice for all time periods and regions we have a sudden dip in November. Now let's see if this is the case for the East region only. To do this we can simply expand on the slicer panel and select East from the region slicer. Notice the report is instantly filtered in order to only display values for the East region. Now this is a great way to save on screen estate, but for now let's continue our analysis with all the regions included in this report. So I'm going to go ahead and select all in order to return all the regions back into play. We then have a tree map displayed here for the products produced by region and product. If we hover over South region and products free, which is this section here, notice we have a report tooltip appear. This offers instant insight as for this combination of region and product, which you can see highlighted in the report at the top of the report tooltip saying South and product free. We have the produced goods versus target on the left hand side, so 71,000 produced goods versus a target of 55,000, and we have produced goods that failed quality control and the target on the right hand side. So we had 1.4 thousand produced goods that failed quality control, and then the target was 1393. Furthermore, in the report level tooltip, you can see that we have a bar chart that shows a bit of trend of all the produced goods over all periods of time. Furthermore, if we drill down using the tree map, we can choose a single region and product. So let's stick with the South region and product free. Notice how everything is filtered on the report to reflect the selection we make. So if I go ahead and select product free for the South region, so this individual element in the tree map, notice how everything on screen has now rendered to reflect this individual selection. This is part of Power BI's cross-highlighting and cross-filtering capability. So the South region produced 71,000 products, as we can see through the tooltip on screen now. And when we look at the stack and line chart on the top, we can see it's quite scattered in regards to produced goods, and this is shown through the bars in this chart, and quality control, which is visible through the line in the chart, was good until we hit December with a large spike of products produced that failed quality control. Now, a possible reason for this is a machinery malfunction. So possibly they decided to take a machine offline, hence produced goods went ahead and dropped completely to zero in January. They then made some repairs or possibly replaced the machine overall, brought the machine back online, and production started to stabilize, as we can see, and products started to be produced once again. Furthermore, quality control was better as we had a lower number of products failing the quality control check at the later periods. So we can see how this report offers the ability to head off any issues that may be arising around production and quality control in advance. Let's move on to the next report, which focuses on variances around targets and not only looking at the targets alone. To get to the next report page, we can simply click on the arrow down here, and that takes us to production and quality performance variances. So this report highlights where the regions or category of products are not hitting targets in both production and quality control. We first start off with some stats in the top left and some cumulative totals in the top right. So from the stats we can see in total 370,000 goods were produced, and out of those 370,000 goods, 12,000 failed quality check. Now the middle charts and bottom two charts are the main areas of focus for this report. So in the middle charts here we can see where everything complies with targets. Therefore these charts show us where everything is good, whilst the bottom two charts here show where we are failing to meet targets. So with that said, looking at the report as of now, in the middle we can see we are doing good in regard to the produced goods target. as we are hitting targets month on month, and this is looking at all regions. But if we look at the bottom area, we can see that our quality control, we have a bit of a trend with quality control not being great around the months of December and January, which can be due to the machine failure which we highlighted in the previous report. But generally it's not too bad. Now if we go ahead and filter on category 3 and pick the failing region of London through the slicer panel as we did in the previous report, we can see here in the middle section where we are looking at target compliance, therefore achieving targets, from a produced goods perspective where the bar should be green, we are not hitting our targets for London. There are some blue bars though, meaning for quality control we do produce goods. It's not too bad in the month shown. So if we hover over the month of December, we can see through the report tooltip our target was to achieve below 196 and we achieved 190, which is good. But if we look at the bottom chart, here we are failing to produce the correct amount of goods month on month. So when we see green bars below the line, this indicates that we should have produced many more goods. If we take February as an example, so that's December, January and February, we should have produced at least 2,702 products. But as the report tooltip highlights, we've actually produced 1,829 products only. Hence, we are down against the target. So at a glance, we can see where the regions and products need some attention in order to achieve their targets over time. This concludes this short video.